Is God still doing miracles today? I'm Lee Strobel, and I explore that topic in my new book, Seeing the Supernatural, in which I document several cases that can only be explained as supernatural healings by God. First of all, what is a miracle? A miracle is an event brought about by the power of God that is a temporary exception to the ordinary course of nature for the purpose of showing that God has acted in history. But how can we know if a miracle is genuine? After all, sometimes what looks like a miracle might just be an extraordinary coincidence. Or it could be the placebo effect, where people think they're going to get better and so they begin to feel better. Or it could be mistaken diagnosis or fakery or fraud. Some illnesses spontaneously disappear on their own, though this usually occurs over a period of time and the disease often returns. All that is true. But naturalistic explanations cannot account for all of the miracle claims. There are healings and other miraculous events that are simply inexplicable apart from the supernatural work of God. Here's my view. We can reasonably conclude a miracle occurred if we have solid documentation and multiple and credible eyewitnesses who have no motive to deceive, if there's no reasonable alternative natural explanation, and if it occurs in a spiritual environment, such as prayer. For example, we have the documented case of an infant who was hospitalized with uncontrolled violent vomiting just days after his birth. He was diagnosed with gastroparesis, or stomach paralysis, an incurable condition which impairs the moving of food from the stomach into the small intestine. So 2 feeding tubes were inserted, and they helped keep him alive for the next decade and a half. On November the 6th of 2011, when he was 16 years old, the patient went to church with his family. The pastor laid hands on the teenager and prayed for Jesus to miraculously heal him. The teenager later said, "During the prayer, I felt an electric shock that started from my right shoulder and traveling down through my stomach. That was the moment that I knew I had been touched by the Holy Spirit." Indeed, doctors confirmed he had been spontaneously and totally healed and has remained so ever since. His feeding tubes were removed. 3 medical researchers investigated this healing and ended up publishing the case, the first reported instantaneous healing of this otherwise hopeless condition, published it in a peer-reviewed medical journal. That's just one case. My conclusion is that yes, we have clear and convincing evidence that God is still in the miracle business today.